he knew well, and asked him to say hello to Sarah, Joel's long-deceased daughter, with whom he has been reunited in death. It's a gut punch, coming on the heels of Joel's terrible death and the understanding that The Last of Us, as we knew it, has ended. However, the pacing decisions in Episode 3 were intriguing, as if the series is as unsure of where it is headed as we are. Many of my concerns about The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 2 came true this week, since it is an Ellie-centric episode, and Bella Ramsey has many sequences to carry on her own. Episode 3 had to clear up the aftermath of Joel's death and the town's onslaught, but something felt odd about how the tale played out. Like the Season 2 premiere, Episode 3 is focused on setup and world building, which makes me even more curious about where the plot will conclude. Splitting up the game, however, the rhythm was off as the show expanded to accommodate its ever-expanding universe. In comparison to the third episode of Season 1, there isn't much to separate this episode from the remainder of the series. The ghost of long time may not be as powerful as Joel's in Episode 3, but it is still present in many respects. The third chapter of Season 1 was a watershed moment for fans discovering The Last of Us for the first time, establishing the series as more than simply another video game adaptation. However, because they know they already have our attention, Episode 3 waits for time, which is unexpected given how short the season is. Episode 3 verified that I was right to be concerned about the shift in The Last of Us after Joel's death. Ramsey spends much of the Ella Merced gets to play Dina, the source of lightness, demonstrating that when Ramsey has a scene partner, they are instantly better off. However, Ramsey's troubles with Ellie are not unique, as the character has evolved throughout time. There are a few hints of the Ellie we met last season, sardonic, playful, and determined to be taken seriously even in times of difficulty. Times have changed, but I wish we had seen more of this before Joel's death, since she will remain focused for the rest of the season. We knew Kate was going to Seattle one way or another since the end of Episode 2, so I'm not sure why The Last of Us pretended there was ever any doubt. Even though Season 3 will cover the latter part of The Last of Us Part 2, the pace is both too quick alone. It's a sad, emotionally charged episode, but that's because the moments it relies on are intrinsically painful, not because of Ramsey's performance in these parts. Ellie is concealing her sadness, without a doubt, but Ramsey is keeping it so deep that I found it difficult to recall the moments when Joel and Ellie were interacting. However, this could be part of the argument The Last of Us is attempting to make. They were close and vital to each other, although Ellie did not know every detail about Joel. Finding out the whole truth about him could transform her life. While I'm still not sure what Catherine O'Hara's Gale's role will be, she made some eye-opening comments in Episode 3, though it's too early to say whether Ellie can be saved. I agree that Joel didn't make her into the person she is now. She and Joel were always on the same path. However, the scenes with Dina lay the way for a possible light at the end of the tunnel. If Ellie has something to fight for other than her dwindling ties to Joel, it may be enough to entice her to return before too long. The Washington Liberation Front's militia is as terrible as it appears, and conflict may be on the horizon. This opens the door to new activities outside of Jackson. Episode 3 informs me that the best way to continue watching The Last of Us this season is to quit expecting it to be Season 1. Season 2 will never be able to recapture the special magic of the first season now that Joel has left, but I don't think it should. The Last of Us Season 2 is battling to identify itself, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be excellent.